So we're recording now. So what would you like to talk about, Glenn?
Well, you've already decided that stress was the topic, and it's fairly poignant because we are in a very stressful situation at the moment, or multiple very stressful situations at the moment. So let's talk about stress and how stress affects us, the positives, the negatives.
Yeah.
Let's try and find the silver linings for this horrible...
Is stress a motivator, do you reckon?
It very much can be.
Okay, but do you think that stress is a motivator currently in our lives?
Yes.
Because I think we both want to quit our day jobs as soon as possible. I mean, I would have quit that 3 months ago if I could, and start a brand new project, but life doesn't work this way, does it? And we need to just like cope with the stress and carry on. But it's, and I'm sure you're going through under similar circumstances. Work is not good. Working with certain people that bring you down, this and that. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. But we are trying to make a change. We've been trying to make a change for quite a while now. We tried a couple of
years.
Yeah. We try a couple of things, and we're just bouncing and seeing what stick basically. But we do have a general direction about where we want to go with everything. But in your current situation right now, do you think your stresses are working as a motivator to you?
Yes. As horrible as they are, yes. And this is why I say stress can be good, stress can be bad. Without stress, apathy can settle in and you can get very complacent, and time can distort and race by, and before you know it, way too much time's gone by and you've done nothing productive and effective. Some people might be happy with that. Some people might be more than happy to just kind of video game their lives away or soap opera their lives away.
Interesting that you mentioned.
We're not that way inclined.
Because we used to video game our lives away.
Yeah.
That was a very, I would say, at the time, it was a very effective way to deal with stress, but not a very
I wouldn't say deal with
way.
I would say mask.
Oh yeah,
disguise and relieve. Yeah.
Yeah, that falls into the category of escapism, correct? So you're dealing with so many horrible things that stresses you over and over every single day, and we used to just go to work and then come back home and sit down and play 5 or 6 hours of video game
easily.
It felt
because it's
good.
So easy and accessible to just switch it on, plug in, and zone out, forget everything, and in an instant you're in another galaxy a long time ago, far, far away, or you're Mario Karting around, having a laugh with people in countries all over the world. And yeah, it's great fun and stress relief.
It did, but it wasn't very constructive, especially because...
But it's time absorbing.
We always had like this wish to make a change in a specific direction. And it was only when we got rid of our video game,
which I could have killed you for. Oh my God, I wanted to murder you in that moment. You laugh.
Well,
but who the hell puts a PS4 on a goddamn bus stop seat?
Yeah, I couldn't...
What the hell is wrong with you?
It had to be done. I just put in the box, put in the bus, left it at the bus stop, and in 10 minutes someone took it.
Yeah, no shit.
But...
I'm all for pay it forward and kind of...
But when I got rid of our...
Power love, but
our biggest form of escapism...
Crazy Eddie's biggest sale ever.
Yeah. When I got rid of our biggest form of escapism, that launched us into the reality of our stresses. And I could say that ever since, we've been on a very difficult path.
Well, we were really on the path.
We are making good changes.
Avoiding.
we are achieving good targets. Not the best that we could, but I think we are doing some good progress.
Well,
But-
hi, newsflash. Honey, life's a bitch. Life's complicated and life is really goddamn
no.
difficult.
I don't take that from you. No, that's correct. Life
But you
is
need
difficult.
to kind of keep sight of the problems as they're there in front of you and behind you as well. You need to remember them when they're behind you in the rearview mirror. You don't get to kind of erase them just because things are behind you.
Oh no, that's
Otherwise, you start looking at things with a very, very distorted lens
okay.
of
That's not necessarily the point
you
was
or I have
making.
been through.
It's true, and we're learning from everything that we've been through, and we're learning with everything that we're trying to do. But what I'm saying is, we've been launched straight into the heart of the stresses, and we've been avoiding escapism ever since. Do you think that was a good strategy, or do you think that was the best way that we could have launched ourselves into this path?
I wouldn't exactly say it was a strategy. I would say it was a reaction, an impulse.
I like to think it was a strategy because I came
No,
up with it.
No,
so.
I think looking back, you're calling it a strategy. I think
Yeah.
at the time you just
I had a plan.
impulsively flipped out and
Yeah, something
threw a
needs to
PS4 on a
change.
fucking bus stop seat.
I like to do like 90 degrees curves and no changes.
Captain Pragmatic, Captain Scrooge McDuck that saves every goddamn penny and works incredibly hard to struggle and sacrifice. To me, in that moment, that was like absolute insanity.
Good that you say that, because there is still
Sell,
quite a lot of things around us
recoup.
I would very much like to just throw away. How did that stress you?
Incredibly. I just clenched. And I don't mean my fist.
Because yeah, I would. I hold myself back. But no, I think it's as difficult as it is, and it has been. I think it was a good strategy because it has put us in that situation where
I think it was a good
we either do it or do it, you know, and we have achieved quite a lot. We start a community, we start a couple of businesses that not necessarily worked.
tried and failed with a couple of businesses. Huge circumstance.
But the lessons that we've learned with it are like priceless, you know.
Yeah.
Some people pay a lot of money to maybe
some
learn
people
those
did.
maybe learn those messages, but they
Some
don't quite
people beat
learn.
me. And it's still very raw and still very painful, feeling like you've been suckered.
Yeah.
Whether or not you actually have is entirely down to perspective and perception and circumstances and your reality and situations that you've been through. Which is going to be completely different and unique for anyone. I could say that said company were incredible, best opportunity of a lifetime, and somebody else could say that said company that we went to were diabolical scammers and they just rip you off and take your money.
Just for context, let's just say
Someone
a little bit
them.
more that we went to learn something and we put money on it, and just to be left dry and hanging dry and desperate for assistance when we most needed, and it was denied to us. So yeah, we feel kind of robbed, but
a little bit lackluster with the support on each occasion as well, monthly. And in fact, I lost 2 jobs because of my commitment to said company.
Yeah.
2 jobs.
And as stressful it is to think of it,
incredibly,
that it has taught us very important lessons, especially in terms of to think wisely before make a decision, to think way ahead before making a commitment to something.
I would say haunted is the word that describes how I feel about it. It haunts me constantly. And it's so hard to let go of something that still has claws in your mind and soul and holds on, still influencing.
I know. I can relate to that in with different subjects. Yeah. Uh, it is absolutely a stress factor that adds to everything.
Especially when they've still got thousands of pounds that technically I should have had back. 7 and a bit grand that should be back with me, but they're holding on to and won't let go of.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. So any future commitments that I could potentially be investing in, I've got that, god damn it, I've got a chunk of money that should be mine.
So how did that?
Debts that I'm still paying off because of
Yeah. So how
paying
did
in.
that? Do you think that affects your ability to make new decisions when it comes
It
to
holds me back.
financial circumstances, like how much money to invest or how to invest other people's money?
It literally haunts me and traumatizes me, and it holds me back, and it makes me want to fight and argue and say, give me what's rightfully mine.
Okay, but forget that for a second. Moving forward, how do you feel like when you're approaching a new project or a situation where there is like large financial
Terrified,
um
in a word.
and how do you think that affects your decision?
It makes me very skeptical, very wary, very apprehensive. It makes me feel kind of, I don't know, not intimidated.
Mm.
That's not the right word, but hesitant. And I'm afraid to commit to things even more than I already was, which was huge.
Yeah, because I think losing your money is one thing, but losing other people's money is something completely different.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say it so kind of casually because, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, it wasn't your money to lose.
Yeah.
And it wasn't your sort of lifetime of blood, sweat and tears that you've worked on, your own legacy that got thrown into a volcano. From my personal perspective, my stress, my anger, my rage with it all is that growing up, I struggled like crazy, and I taught myself to scrimp and save and scrooge away every penny, living on basics, moving out away from home at a very early age, working really, really hard, never getting a degree, never going to college and I went to college, never went to university, and got rubbish grades at school.
I don't.
Struggled like crazy, and I worked suffering with like neurodiversities that, yes, we both do.
Yeah.
Dyslexia was a diagnosis when I was like 18, final year of college. Thanks so long, and thanks for all the fish. And I've struggled like crazy, but I've worked my arse off to build up my own personal little empire that might not be castles, might not be
I would argue that
mansions,
to me they
but
look like castles.
for me, this 2-bit little nobody to have built up to the point that I'm at now with all of this that I've managed to achieve, it's massive.
It is massive.
And I've kind of lost the plot. I forgot where I was going with that.
I was talking about working with other people's money compared to losing your own
losing
money.
It. What we worked with and what we invested was a massive chunk of my life, my time, my effort, and my equity that tens of thousands of pounds just got burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to sorry, I didn't mean
That's pain.
I don't mean you derailed me, but the point I was trying to make is because successful people work with other people's money, and there is a level of they don't care about losing people money that is quite on the correct way to approach things.
Yeah,
it's like,
I wouldn't say don't care. I would say it's a different mindset.
You know, because I feel like
emotional connection is different.
The way people achieve successes with other people, well, it's always there is only one way to achieve success, and it's definitely always with someone else's money, never yours. But it's like I don't know. There has to be a level of I don't care if I lose your money because it's not mine that is part of achieving success. Because there is a risk to everything. And
I disagree.
I don't know, like you take money from someone and you're so afraid of losing that money that you don't do anything good with it. That would be something that holds you back, right?
No. I immediately want to say no. And I would say, I want to use the word should. It's like, for me personally, how I feel about that as a statement is, if you're using someone else's money, you're even more careful. You're even more strategic. You're even more systemized, methodical, and precise.
But could you be so careful to the point that you're way too careful and you just fail? Because some people just go balls to the walls and then they have someone else's money. They just go all in, and if they win, they win. They don't win, and then they just move on. And that makes a large part of successful people is the taking risks aspects, because eventually you will lose on a bet and you will lose someone else's money.
I'm literally the flip of that coin. That's how I felt with my money, my equity, when we were trying to work with my money and we were putting tens of thousands of my fucking hard-earned legacy and lifetime of blood, sweat and tears, and it was like, right, let's do this. I remember saying to them, let's go, balls deep, I'm in.
But do you think you would be more...
I don't think I would have done that with someone else's money.
Dedicated if it was someone else's money?
Yeah, I think I would have been more dedicated. I think I would, maybe not more dedicated. I don't think dedicated is the right word. And we were dedicated. 110, 150% dedicated.
Yeah, not saying that we weren't. But do you think that would be like an extra dedication factor?
Not the word. I don't think dedication is the key. I think strategic is maybe the key. But then we were very strategic with what we did as well. We were damn right unlucky. The things that happened were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the chain of unlucky events, one after the other, after the other, after the other, was just horrible.
That is true. But that
seemingly unavoidable as well, which is a real kicker, because if you can see something coming, you can work around it and you can develop strategies on the fly to work with obstacles. But if it's a pit trap that kabam, you're in it and you're neck deep in spikes before you even knew that you'd fallen, how do you develop a strategy around that?
Well,
other than a metaphorical jetpack, which is called money.
I agree. We tried something, didn't work, but that put us in a path that we are today. And I think don't worry.
Just gesturing, do not spill my espresso martini.
Yeah, you have espresso martini. I don't have espresso martini, but that's okay. I don't drink espresso martini. It's fine. I mean, I would, but I just don't feel like it.
It's my birthday present.
Well,
thank you to a very special individual who bought me the espresso martini.
It's your birthday month, by the way, so I hope that removes some stress from you. So, which is nice.
Well, birthday month did, Pride month didn't. Ironically, but anyway.
So I like to see it in a positive way. I think that the path we are today, it's more in line of what we want to do from the beginning before we got distracted with different projects. We did our best. We both wanted from the bottom of our heart to succeed in Project A and Project B, but ignore the fact that we lost money in it. Just ignore that for a second and look at it as for what it was. It wasn't necessarily us, was it? Compared to
depends on which
more or less the direction
we're looking at.
We go in today. The most recent project for the last couple of years, we were trying to do a service accommodation business, and
which was just about beginning to work.
It's a market that is overly saturated, especially in the UK. If you go online, the way people are abusing is definitely going to bring some trouble into the whole
Well, it
thing.
already has.
But I don't want to turn this.
Legislations and
Yeah.
laws regarding housing in general.
Yeah, but
The ripple effect is huge.
I don't necessarily want to turn this episode into a service accommodation episode,
God,
so
no.
I'll just leave it there. But looking at service accommodation and where we are today with this podcast and the other project that we have with us, I think today we are in the actual path that we wanted to be before we even got involved with service accommodation. Because we're much more like serving our community, and that's what we wanted to do before. And we thought we were doing a good change that would allow us to, improve as people and focus on more projects in the future. But the reality is we just jumped into an extremely busy and complicated world. Yeah. That business is saturated.
And we got screwed over.
Yep.
And we got mucked about by,
I mean, not saying that
stupid circumstances.
It doesn't work.
Stupid property issues.
It does work, but for a
absolutely
very
in a very niche way.
Yeah. So you have
and
to.
No one explains that it's actually a very, very finite little broadband.
Yeah, I'm trying not to turn this episode into a service accommodation thing, but a service accommodation business will work for people who have their own properties.
Yeah.
Quite well. Because playing with other people's properties is not only just a lot more expensive, but
it's too vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. You are the most.
You can pull the carpet out from under your feet in an instant, and everything comes crashing down. Which, ta-da! Newsflash.
Yeah, we got stuck with tenants that the moment they hooked us in, they were like, "Oh, you need to pay us more because everybody in the world make a lot of money from this business."
It's like, hang on a minute. The ink's not dry yet.
Yeah. Therefore, we want to double our income from you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that doesn't work. But going back on the subject of stress a little bit.
Yeah, double whammy in 2 years worth of birthdays was not nice either. Signing a happy contract on my birthday? Great.
I think
trashing our world on my next birthday? Not so great.
So I think I'm just speaking for myself here. I think in my world, stress is a very strong motivator, but I don't know if is necessarily a good thing, because everything, every decision I've made, every change I've made in my life is in relation to how I was trying to avoid that specific thing that was causing me so much stress. So the reason why I decided to leave Brazil to come to the UK, and how I conducted my life here in the UK, going from job to job to moving places to places, that led me to meet you. And even the way I was part of the decision of moving from London to a smaller town, that was all related to stress and how I just want to start fresh. But then we get to a new place, we immediately start investing in new ideas, this and that. And for so many times, I thought maybe I should just buy a new video game and calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
sorry to swear, but do we need to beep that?
It's such an instinctive beep. There you go.
So yeah, because I feel like sometimes I miss just sitting down and playing video game for 6 hours.
But that's the danger of it. That's the addiction of it. That's the come to me. It's nice and easy. Time will just fly by. Everything will be fine. And then before you know it, you're up shit creek and all your problems are still there. You just haven't dealt with them. In fact, they've probably got worse. And then there's consequences. But you've had a fantastic time blasting away with whatever, or racing away with whatever, or building away with cuboids and cubes of whatever. And
yeah, so would you fall a ladder comfortably, or would you go up a ladder on fire?
Wait, what now?
Imagine life is a ladder, and then the only way to go, the only way going up is on fire, but you can choose to go down very comfortably. So which one is worse?
What's at the bottom when you go down very comfortably?
Probably way worse than it was.
Eternal suffering and damnation.
Probably. And financial distress.
Ruin.
Yeah.
But it's such a sweet, comfy glide on the way down,
descent.
floating on a little cushion.
I know. And then if you die before you hit the bottom, you didn't actually see the worst that it could have.
Like a Stana stair lift going down with a little straw hat with drinks in it and donuts on a tray, and yay. And then doom. The end.
And then doom. But if you, like I said, if you
want to progress, you've got to do it on fire.
Yeah.
Screaming as you grab every rung of the ladder, burning your hands.
For every time, for every step you go up, it's more fire. You need to catch fire until you reach a point where there's no longer oxygen to feed that fire.
Interesting metaphor for life.
And by oxygen, I probably mean money and success.
Yeah, that's a metaphor for the rat race of life. But there's invisible doors and platforms everywhere that those of us stuck on the rat race, we're born with blinkers on our eyes, like horses that can only see forwards. And every time
I think we
listen to the media and society and everything that we're indoctrinated by our lives to believe, it reinforces the blinkers all the more.
I don't know about being born with blinkers. Well, yeah, we're born blind.
Hell yeah.
But I think it's...
No, we're not born blind. We're born very, metaphorically able to see, but only in a specific way.
Yeah, but I think it's not necessarily my parents or your parents, but most parents...
No, it's bigger than a parent.
They don't do a really good job teaching the child to become an adult. There is no financial teachings at home,
and
there's no
system doesn't do that.
There is no preparation for actual real life.
Nope.
So it's not necessarily a dig to my parents or your parents. I'm not speaking about them.
No, it's
specifically. I'm talking about in general. Yeah, most people. You hardly. Yes, there are households that teach their kids to be financially smart. To actually prepare them for the real difficulties of life.
Yeah, lucky them.
Yeah.
All power to them rather than lucky them. It's not luck, it's
the
smart.
Rare case, Majority of households, whether we in UK, in Brazil, or any other place in the world, people don't teach that.
No. And sadly, education doesn't either.
Yeah, and I have no idea where I was going with this.
Should be taught. Maths should be finance.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
I think we kind of segued and tangented a bit with the lure of come back to the video game.
Yeah, where were we? We were going up the ladder on fire.
Yeah, burning our hands and feet with every
and then
pull of the rungs.
We got to a place where there's no longer oxygen, which means we're successful, and then there's no more fire or less fire. And I think, yes, so that's where I went to. There is no education at home that teaches to be prepared for the real world. So we start quite up in the ladder or quite down in the ladder, and we need to go way up than we should otherwise if we were properly educated.
I think I get what you're trying to say. Yeah. So you mean we've had to work harder because we haven't had an effective kind of
a proper
upbringing and education that prepares you for the life that we're trying to achieve.
Yes. Neither from our families or from or the education system.
We're breaking the mold. We're trying to do things that
we could.
Life doesn't prepare you for.
That is true, but we're also dealing with a very weird time in humanity, which evolution comes way too fast now.
Yeah.
This is like an industrial revolution every 5 years. And each generation is much more far apart from each other than we ever experienced in our life.
It's true. A decade is like a century.
Remember, we went from
hundreds of years ago.
Yeah,
the difference from one century to the next was negligible. Now the difference from one decade to the next is like a different epoch.
Yeah.
It's insane how technology and world politics.
And we are in a very privileged place because we've learned how to deal with the world before technology was such an essential part of it. You know, we grew up. We come from a time where not every household had a telephone.
Yeah.
You know, we went out to do whatever. We didn't have to necessarily explain where we're going. Nobody knew where we were. We would just suddenly come back home, and that was it.
Free range kids.
You know, now everything is so connected. Nobody knows what to do at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everything.
But there's such a huge irony. Yeah. There's such a huge irony connected to that in the sense of like, there's infinite possibilities in the palm of your hand, but yet it's completely like neglected, and instead of the realms of infinite possibility, it's just like doom scrolling trash.
Yeah.
What the hell? And you've got...
In the subject of stress, this generation is far more stressed than we are, because they have zero life skills, basically. You know, they know everything by observation, but no experience with anything at all.
And the difference of the immediacy, the instantaneous, like instant karma, good or bad, in the blink of an eye, that fear and trauma of like, I mean, we grew up in a generation where you could be bullied and whatever you did had a repercussion that would go on. Now it's more like the fear of whatever you do will be videoed and TikToked and you'll be a viral sensation at your expense. In the blink of an eye, you can be destroyed or become an icon, and it's that wildly bipolar, crazy kind of extreme of experience is insanity. And growing up as a kid with that kind of pressure is just nuts.
It is. And not to doom scroll this whole thing, I don't even know if that is the correct word to say, but these people now, it's going to be our lawmakers in 20 years, you know, the people in the government and this and that. And
that's terrifying.
Kind of a little bit, but are we too old and we see the world the way we see, or the world is falling into
I don't think so.
Despair and darkness?
Other people might disagree, but
you know, I
think you and I are kind of in that sweet spot of today's version of like what, not even middle age. I don't even feel middle-aged. We are technically what our parents' generation would have called middle-aged, but we've grown up in a generation where we've kind of matured quicker but retained the youth longer. And it's that weird oxymoronic irony that's kind of, it makes it hard to figure out your place in life as well. And that's quite stressful in the sense of like, you're older than you look and feel, but...
Well, it does, because all the power is retained still with the older generation before us.
Much older.
They had all the greatest, easiest time to achieve everything they wanted, and they just hold on to it.
Yeah, without the care for the future.
Yeah.
Which, it's the legacy of...
Our generation struggles a lot with that. You can take a look at everybody else around our same age as us. We still work in a 9-to-5 or even worse than that.
Way more than a 9-to-5. Jesus Christ, I would love to work just a 9-to-5.
Barely putting things together. While the generation before, your parents, not necessarily my parents, they're doing well, but different country, different circumstances.
And it's not even just working like a 9-to-5 anymore. It's things and society and life is changing so much that it's like, it's not just a 9-to-5 anymore. It's, you sell your soul to whoever you work for, and you are literally used and abused
like a
to the maximum,
and
as a product and a tool with no care for you as a human being.
What?
Your human rights are so eroded and so meaningless to the corporations and companies that you work for.
Yeah, your life is at mercy of someone who's less experienced than you are, less probably competent than you are,
Maybe not less
and
experienced.
someone who does not care about anything. And with
Yeah,
a
the
flick
fact
of a
that they
wrist,
could not care less about your existence and the
No.
damage that it would do
Yeah.
to you if they fired
and
you.
with a flick of a wrist, they can just simply
Make
get
or
you
break.
fired, and you find yourself in a situation where you are going to be financially bankrupt by the
Ruined.
decision.
Yeah.
You know,
And they wouldn't blink. They wouldn't care.
no, they don't. And
Not everyone is that horrible,
no,
just to clarify.
yeah,
But sadly, it seems to be the way that the ones in power are more likely to have, in fact, they probably have a propensity to be that way inclined, to be ruthless, to be malicious, and to be malign with every intention, but yet skillful in masking it so that they'll make it appear to be something else, but they'll slit your throat while shaking your hand, but you don't even know it's going on.
yeah. With all my complex way of existing, you know that I'm a bit tough on a lot of people, and
God, this
including myself.
Dark.
Yeah, I think I still like respect the fact that I wouldn't drop someone so hard on their head just because I can, you know, because I don't care and I want to get on with moving my life forward, for example. Without
Oh, but you so would if it was justified. If you felt it was justified, you'd pole driver someone's head into the concrete.
yeah, but define
metaphorically.
justified. Define
Yeah.
justified. Justified is justified, but sometimes justified to me is not justified to someone else.
Yeah.
So that is a complicated situation. But
Yeah.
I do try to find work around things. But if things are not working, I like to break apart. Yes, but I'm not that person to the point that yeah, F you and I hope you die in the ditch. No. And I think that we've both been in situations like this. I think I can be, but I think there is a limit to it, you know?
Yes, you are.
To small things.
You're very much the dead to me camp.
Yeah, but but I wouldn't put someone in a situation where they would go, you know, get royally effed up because of that decision.
No, you're more like, I'm done, bang, drop, walk. Wait, where is he? Oh, he's gone.
Well, you're not
Okay, bye.
good picture of me there. But I'm just trying to say that despite all my the way who I am, there is still some humanity in me that would prevent me to, you know, put someone in a serious situation
Oh, yeah, I'm not
just
saying
because I don't
you're
want to be associated with that
a
person.
malicious psychopath. No, not at all.
No, but
I wouldn't marry
feel
you
like
if that was the
we
case.
both have and maybe still work with people like this,
Yeah,
let's say.
and they're the ones that tend to rise to the top.
Yeah, and
Because
then
they're
they want to protect
Fine with
their
treading on
stuff
heads and necks to
at
get there.
all costs, you know, and they
Yeah.
don't really care who they kicking along the way.
Mm.
Like many times I said, there is only one way up, and it's by stepping on people's heads, and I stand by it.
No, I don't agree.
That I fully
I hate that
stand
statement.
by it.
Don't like the word hate. I try not to use it,
But
I hate that statement.
But
Fundamentally,
I
despise
also
it.
say that to both of us that we don't like doing that, and we like to
No.
be more respectful and more like aware of the people that we, you know, leaving behind, let's say, trying to go up. So that's probably why we find so difficult to, you know,
See eye
achieve
to
certain things.
Mm.
Is because we are always constantly very concerned about how we influencing people around us. And we do care about community because we built a community, and we built a community not for us necessarily, but for them, right?
For all of us.
For all of us, correct.
and we are part of
So
that.
we didn't make it just for me and you. And that's what I think we did right, is because we don't think just of you and me.
No, well, it would be just a 2-man club if we did, which, newsflash, that would be just us anyway, so it wouldn't exist.
So where is the
Self-defeating
healthy
point.
line? Where is the healthy line between caring for people and caring for yourself? I think we both have different
think-
lines. I think I'm a little bit more on the caring for ourselves side.
A little bit.
Maybe
Maybe
just a little bit
a
more.
big little bit.
And I think you are a little bit more on the caring for everybody else line. Kind of, but we both still
Yeah.
care for other people, because you know that nothing we do would have worked if we didn't.
It's true. I mean, I've always struggled with that old saying. I've kind of come to grips with it more as I've matured and grown up and kind of experienced it more and more and seen it from many, many different perspectives. But you have to look after yourself first before you can look after anyone else.
Yeah.
I always used to instinctively push that away. Like, no, that's terrible.
That's a
It's
lot to live
selfish.
by.
How could you? That's despicable. Wow. And we're almost kind of trained to believe that that's wrong.
No.
But yet at the same time, we're told that that's what you need to do. And it's this contradiction that stressed me out all my life. But it's true. It's like flying on a plane.
Yep.
Perfect
That's
analogy.
where I was going to go.
Yeah, I know. I read your mind.
Because you know, I live by those words. I live by those words.
You see the beautiful air stewards and stewardesses doing their lovely little arm gestures, so elegant, so charming, so pretty, and they're like, right, you pull this toggle, toot this flute, life jacket inflates. When the masks drop, you put yours on first. Don't put anyone else's on first. Put yours on first,
and then you help.
And then you help everyone else. And my instinct has always been, wait, no, oh my God, help other people first. No. But then you pass out.
And if you may not have helped one
you
person.
might not even realize that you're blacking out.
Yeah. No, you
smoke inhalation, oxygen deprivation. Before you realize it, you're done.
Yeah.
Seconds and you're conked out, dead on the floor.
So you always put your mask first.
Do.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
You always help yourself
and then
first.
You're more effective.
Correct.
To help other people.
Because I'm an objectivist.
Yeah.
That I always look after myself first before I look after others.
Can't help anyone if you're dead on the floor.
But that doesn't mean that I am a selfish person. I think it took me a few years to actually demonstrate that to you, that I'm not necessarily a selfish person. It's not a selfish decision. It's more a safeguarding decision. No, because objectivists, they come across as selfish, but not necessarily. You keep laughing. You keep laughing, but I've shown you over and over and over that I'm not necessarily a selfish person.
Yeah.
But I only care. I'm very meticulous about. Yeah, whatever. I am very meticulous about how I invest my energy on other people.
Selective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not meticulous?
Well, similar but different context, different kind of. Meticulous is applicable as well, but selective is more like you're choosy. You make a choice and you think, right, yes, I will invest my time. No, I won't. No, I won't. Maybe. No, I won't. Yes. Meticulous is like more methodic and precise and accurate.
Yeah, I think I
am
quite meticulous about
okay
how I invest my energy on other people.
Okay.
And you know that to me, you and I comes first and everybody else comes after, right?
That wasn't an actually, that was just a kind of
it's all right.
Elaborate.
It's all right. No, it's fine. Because to be honest, I didn't know the full extent of the word meticulous anyway. That's why I asked you to explain.
It's a nice word. I like it.
It is. So as an objectivist, I think like if I'm not ready, if I'm not in a good position, I can't extend anything to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't save a person who's drowning, and a person who's drowning certainly cannot save another person who's drowning. I mean, when I say you don't save a person who's drowning, I say you don't jump in the water to help a person who's drowning.
Right, you don't save anyone else by drowning
You need
yourself.
to stay on the safe place and then throw a help to the person drowning, because if you go in yourself, you risk drown together with the person because they're panicking.
Potentially. Yeah. Or you go in if you are a strong enough swimmer to do so, in that metaphor.
Even that change. When someone is panicking, and then they can drag you under the water very easily.
And you can underestimate an invisible rip curl in the metaphor.
So jumping in the water
and you're done.
To help someone drowning is your last
potentially suicidal
option, you know. Yes. So I like to think that I need to always be watching where I am before I extend my hand to someone else. And if I have in my vicinity any tools that I can use or lend to help people, I definitely will. But if I need those tools to keep myself safe, I will not. It sounds selfish, but it's not.
Do you know what?
Can
visualization, you know how visual I am. Everything is a visual metaphor. And in my mind, can you guess what I'm visualizing while you say that?
Well, hopefully someone sexy and strong and powerful and fast. But yeah, go on.
No, I'm not talking about you, honey.
Okay.
No, actually, there is a little connection, tiny element of that, but kind of early days crush.
Michael Fassbender?
No.
Okay.
Go back in time.
Go on.
Never-ending Story. Particular moment in Never-ending Story.
Well, which one?
If I said glub, 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 would that mean anything?
Oh, what, you're talking about Artax?
Yeah.
No, but Atreyu
poor old Artax.
Atreyu could not save Artax.
And your first crush, Atreyu, while Artax is just drowning in quicksand and disappearing forever.
Yeah, but Atreyu couldn't help Artax.
Couldn't he though?
No, because the only way to help Artax is if he took the Orin, and he couldn't take the Orin because Orin was keeping him safe first. Second, it was his mission to take the Orin. So he couldn't sacrifice his mission, which is the most important mission of his life, given by the childlike emperor.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit technical with
I'm just
Never-ending Story.
Interesting little psych profile.
But where they were, that was a Doomland, you know, the marshes
the
of
nothingness or whatever it was.
I can't remember. I think the marshes of sadness or something like that. You know,
something like that.
It's a marsh that extends all the way.
Infinite.
Yes. That your eyes can see, and the longer you stay in, the deeper you're gonna
the more
sink.
Depressed you get.
Yeah.
It's depression. Yeah. Metaphor for depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So yeah, it wasn't necessarily a selfish. It was more a duty decision.
Very
because
formative.
There was something more important than the life of the both of them that he had to achieve. But good segue.
Yeah, well, it was very appropriate for your view, your world view.
I'll let anyone else drown in that mud other than the people I care. Yes.
I'm just checking in case there's an Orin around your neck, and just checking under my butt in case I'm sat in quicksand.
Maybe, maybe there is a Orin.
Am I saying quicksand? No, good.
But how did we turn this into me being analysed and
so tell me about your childhood
and unfairly judged as a selfish person?
What did I say? Selfish?
I'm not selfish.
I didn't say selfish.
I am objectivist.
Objectivist. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, thanks for derailing everything. I have
No.
no idea where I was,
My pleasure.
where I was going with this. And now I'll let you, reintroduce us into the subject.
No, it's good. It was good. It was a nice little exploration of like mindset and kind of early childhood influences that have quite paralleled, it would seem.
Yeah.
Mm.
But how did that lead us back to the subject of stress?
Good question. That was quite a spiraling tangent of...
I know, we went so far away that I don't know how to come back to the subject. But what was I talking about? We were talking about not drowning, not helping yourself first.
Yeah, that was it. It was the whole kind of the masks drop. You put your mask on first and then help other people.
So you do help yourself first, always.
Well, yeah, I see it more now than I ever have done. But I think my instinct is still very strongly to help other people more than myself, which is weird. And it can potentially be quite almost self-destructive in that self-sacrificing.
I would argue that is
instinct.
destructive. Yeah.
You don't see it as self-destructive. That's the danger, because when your instinct is to sacrifice yourself to help other people, which again we're trained and indoctrinated to believe is this noble sacrifice and it's the right thing to do, and you kind of like, to be a good person you must always put everyone else first, and it's like, well, hang on a minute, that's completely different. It's the exact opposite of help yourself to help other people. And it's another example of like life's contradictions of how to conduct yourself as a good person and how to be your best self and help other people live their best life.
And I think that's quite fitting to where we are now in our life and our project and what we want to achieve in the near future. I think we just entered a phase where we need to start helping ourselves a little bit. Yeah. We did put a lot of effort helping a lot of people, but I think it's time that we turn our attention to ourselves just a little bit, just for a little while, build ourselves up, strengthen our situation, ourselves, our position, and then we continue to reach around and try to help more people. We've been doing that.
Reach around, eh?
Yeah, you can put it like that.
Who doesn't love a reach around? I mean, come on. No. But yeah, it's difficult when your instinct is to like sacrifice yourself for other people.
Yeah, especially
for the greater good, quote fingers in.
Yeah, especially when you have people who are somewhat dependent of your achievements, and even if they know that they're dependent, or if they don't know they're dependent, we did quite good for them, but we haven't achieved everything that we want to achieve.
No.
And in order to do the next step, we need to focus back in a little bit.
Yeah, and it's that whole kind of free yourself to be more effective at helping other people.
Yes.
We need to do more than just struggle and survive in order to do great things. You need to become great yourself. It's almost like an equal balance thing. And we're trying to tip the scales towards greatness, but it's emptying the other side. And
yeah, I think the scale will never be
balance of scales.
Yeah. The scales never be balanced, but if you let it lean too far on the other end, everything's gonna top right over. So you need to bring the weight back to this side, and then
but it's almost as though if you tip the scales that you are becoming greater, then you can add to the other side.
Yeah.
With some of that greatness.
Yes, correct.
You can rebalance your own scales with
But then
building
if you're
yourself
only adding to the other side and not adding to this side,
then you tip and you fall off and you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's weird, odd metaphor, but seemingly poignant, and it kind of works. So, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
life is stressful,
Life is stressful,
but it can be a driving force.
It must be a driving force. I think that we need to use that stress that we got under right now, and
You need to reflect upon it, step back, breathe, take a moment, look at the bigger picture, and I find to step yourself out emotionally so that you're not burned by the emotions of it. If you can look objectively and think, right, that's affecting me over there, this me that I'm looking at from above or from afar, what should I be doing to react to this, that, and that, without the right here, right now, in my face, can't see anything, can't see the woods for the trees, anger and rage. As soon as you can kind of objectively almost like disassociate, or as you say, dissociate, but I say disassociate. Disassociate is the right word.
It's dissociate, but
It's
okay.
disassociate.
You just like aluminum. You just aluminum to aluminum. Yeah, you want to say aluminum?
Nope. No, excuse me.
Yeah, it's
Excuse me.
dissociate.
It's aluminium. There's another I.
Yeah,
It's not aluminum.
but I think that the stress that
But
we're
yeah.
going through right now is that it definitely must be used as a motivator to our new projects, and the more we work,
Anger
the
is a
faster we're going to
force.
achieve
Stress
something.
is a force.
Yeah,
They're a power to be tapped into. It's like electricity. Electricity can be anything from a little tickle on your tongue, a little spark, static, click, tick on your finger, to a lightning bolt that makes you explode and leave nothing but a smouldering pair of boots on the floor.
well, let's use that lightning bolt and let it explode, but launch us into a new place. What do you think, Doug?
I think it's better to harness electricity in this metaphor and
let's put in the
use it as a driving force.
let's
So that you
trap
can
it in a
channel it,
bottle.
power it, and let it be a force for good.
Well, let's do that. But I think that's enough stress for today. We don't have an outro yet. We haven't even thought about an outro yet. At this point, we don't even have a name for this podcast. By the time we launch this,
And then we're going to like reverse.
there's probably
going to
be a
add it
name
in later on,
so
and it will happen as if it was always there.
by the time people are listening to this, there's probably going to be a name to this podcast. But currently, there's no name to the podcast, and currently we don't have any outro. But I think that's enough stress for today. We can just focus on a different subject next time.